Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and welcome to News and Week in Review, where we're going to go through a variety of news pieces, not just Tariffs, but yes, also Tariffs this week. We're going to be talking about our Creator Spotlight, the videos we've covered, the games we've covered, all of that and more, and links and timestamps to everything down below. Starting off with news, we're going to start off bad, then go into the exciting things to look forward to, and then back to bad. So that's going to be the arc of the news this week. Starting off, we have a Board Game Wire over here with an article on Final Frontier Games shutting down with 3 unfulfilled crowdfunding projects, 1.4 million in raised funds. That's before you get to like all the late pledge shipping, all that. So it's 1.4 million on the front end. It's probably closer to around 2.2 million if I had to guess. But that's Final Frontier Games shutting down with a whole lot of things left outstanding. You probably already know about this. In fact, I'm always curious the different waves of when people find out things in different ways. But if you are on Facebook at all, if you're on Facebook in any board game groups, you've probably seen this. If you subscribe to any board game news, you've probably seen this. If you watch my videos throughout the week, you've probably seen this. Final Frontier Games, unfortunately, is shutting down. I did a full half-hour long video on it. If you want the full expanded version with my thoughts and a whole lot of other things, the short version is they are shutting down. They have a whole laundry list of the reasons they talk about, but inherently there's also the laundry list of the reasons they didn't talk about, which does come down to a large extent of kicking the can down the road as they make one decision after another, trying to keep the company working despite a variety of issues, all the way from COVID to, issues with the current campaigns, to CMON and communication or lack thereof around a whole production thing over there. And I'd guess that issues started even before COVID. I'd guess that. I don't know this for sure. I'm just guessing from going through it all. Again, if you want my full thoughts on it, I did a full half-hour long video on it because a lot of people were requesting it, and it's big news. It's big news. It sucks when this happens, but whenever you have a creator who has multiple projects in the works and they stop delivering things, they just go away, so to speak, that's not good for crowdfunding. It's not good for the people at Final Frontier. It's not good for the people who back their games. It's not good for the people who worked for them, and it's not good for the general confidence of crowdfunding in general. So it's a big deal. I did a full half-hour long segment on it. You can watch that if you want, or you can read this article by Board Game Wire if you just want like a more factual breakdown without any opinions thrown in, and I'll link to that down below. Jumping in here to kind of talk about a semi-breaking news kind of update. I filmed this week in review on Wednesday, and on Thursday found out that Greater Than Games is shutting down. That's particularly relevant here because I have Sentinels on the Multiverse, well, not here on the table, but in the video I have Sentinels on the Multiverse on the table, and later I'm going to talk about how it's a game I want to play. And I debated whether I should do an update news as opposed to covering this next week, but I felt in particular it would reflect poorly to be like, hey, I'm playing this Sentinels of the Multiverse game without even commenting on the fact that Greater Than Games is shutting down. So, news piece this week, Greater Than Games is shutting down, unfortunately. Flat River Group is the current owner of Greater Than Games. They announced on Thursday that they are closing down Greater Than Games. They're going to release updates in the future as far as what that means for pre-orders and crowdfunding currently outstanding, and in the meantime their site is going to be maintained until they sell out of existing stock, and they didn't really announce what happens to the various IPs, the IP holders, like who's going to be selling Spirit Island. Does anyone own Spirit Island? What happens with those games going forward? So that's currently kind of the situation. It sucks. It's also worth noting that when we get later in this video, I get a little upset about the state of things, and that was even before I knew about this. So that was before I knew about this. It was not caused by this. That was just in the video. So it's more so now. It's more so now. Also later in the video, I say that Friday's video was 17 games I played on BGA and quick reviews of them. Board Game Arena, and instead Friday's video was a sort of mini tribute to Greater Than Games. So that's kind of your little update to the sad sandwich in today's news cycle. I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and I'm realizing this is not the end of the video, so I'm going to let the other guy pick up with the next news bit. Moving on from there, we have, in slightly more fun news, we have Clash of Clans, the board game. Coming to you from Maestro Media, Clash of Clans is coming to you with a board game. No, I don't have any images on my screen over here because I couldn't find anything actually about this on the interwebs. I'm sure it will be out soon, but Clash of Clans, the board game, is happening from Maestro Media. I should warn you that Maestro Media does tend to do lighter experiences, so as much as I would love a giant miniature-based Clash of Clans full-on board game, I loved Clash of Clans. Way back in the day, I haven't played it in who knows how long. I actually did download it. I think I downloaded, my phone's over there. I think I downloaded it like a month or two ago. Random thing, but it was on my mind for a month or two ago. I did not know about this, for the record, but I downloaded it to play again and see how addicted I would get, and then didn't actually open it, which is probably a good thing. But I was super obsessed with Clash of Clans. I loved it. I was a huge fan, and I'm kind of excited to see it becoming a board game. Also with a degree of mindfulness around, like, am I the target audience? I don't know if I'm the target audience. We'll find out. I will be paying attention, but Clash of Clans, the board game, is coming somewhere to you. Then from there we have Screen Rant over here. Well, I guess this is less about Screen Rant, but it's Star Wars related, which is why it's here. We have Star Wars Memoir 44. Basically, Days of Wonder announced their new Memoir 44 edition, new art, updated that, all updated this, but then along the way they also said, hey, here's all this stuff that's like Star Wars Memoir 44. So we have a Star Wars Memoir 44 game coming to your table, which is super exciting for some of you. Less exciting for me. The last one, Clash of Clans, was exciting for me. This one, less so. That's because, for me, I've tried Memoir 44 multiple times. I have bounced off hard every single time I've tried it. For whatever reason, the double luck system of what cards will even let me act, combined with now I'm going to roll the dice and see how they roll, that double luck system makes me often feel like I have minimal strategic choice and a whole lot of luck happening. But the good news for you is Memoir 44 is a very well received system. People like that game. It's very, very popular, has had tons of expansions, it's been in and out of print, they have a new printing coming, so Memoir 44, and it's built on the commands and color system, which has been used in many, many other games, so it is a well-loved, well-received game. I'm just not the target audience. That said, I will certainly be paying attention to this one over here because, you know, it's Star Wars, and I'm intrigued by Star Wars, and I'm always intrigued by new things, so I may well end up trying this. I may well end up loving it, but I'm super not confident of that outcome. Then we have over here Tekken. Tekken, which is not news, we already knew this was happening. Tekken from Go On Board is coming, but this one, they've started to put out a bunch of updates these past weeks. So if you check out their YouTube channel, which you can find in this update down below, this is the GameFound page with the updates. They do a full breakdown, but if you just want the videos, they go through how to play, movement and attack, how to win, predict and counter attack. They talk about the various elements of the game. So if you are like kind of excited, but also very nervous, will this be a game that you're interested in? This could be a good opportunity to check out the game and see whether it looks like a game for you. I will say I am more optimistic after seeing all these images and the videos. Still not confident. This kind of game experience I've often enjoyed, but then it hasn't often been a keeper for me. But I'm intrigued. Also, Go On Board in general has done good games that have worked out well for me. So I'm both. I don't know. After Cyberpunk 2077, after Cyberpunk from Go On Board, after they announced that it was a real-time game with an app, I lost so much interest so quickly because I was excited for it. Then they announced the real-time and app, and I was like, nope, real-time has only ever worked for me one game, Project Elite. Every other game I've bounced off hard. But I loved Cyberpunk when I got a chance to play it. I thought it was excellent, and I definitely was much more cautious and nervous after hearing about it. Tekken is a similar vibe for me. I have not been excited about Tekken just yet. I've been excited because it's Go On Board, and I've liked their games, but I've not been excited because fighting games like this generally I have bounced off of. But I'm willing to reserve judgment until I actually get a chance to table it. That is Tekken from Go On Board. And then from there we go back to Tariff news. I told you it was going to be an arc. Bad, good, bad. That was the arc I was going for. You know that, you ever heard of this, the sandwich method? Like when you deliver bad news, you're supposed to sandwich it between good news. Like good news on both sides. So for example, if it's a job performance thing, you're like, Rachel, we really love you at the company. Your past few weeks, your performance has been a little down, but like, I'm sure we'll get to it. Like, I'm sure we have good days ahead. Like, you're such a trooper and an amazing person. That was the worst way to, that was just to illustrate the sandwich method. Don't read into my communication skills from that. But that's the sandwich method. You're supposed to sandwich bad news between layers of good news on both sides. I did that the wrong way today. I sandwiched good news between layers of bad news, which is really the opposite of what the sandwich method is supposed to be. Anyways, sandwich method. Back to ICV2 over here. Tariffs. $1.2 million in Cephalofair games stranded in China. Other publishers warn of price increases. This references a few various publishers, from Japanime to Arcane Wonders, Cephalofair. Basically, more bad news coming up as far as your games. It's not going to be pretty out there until, again, the biggest thing, I haven't even said this yet, we're, 7 minutes into the video. tariffs, since the last time I've covered tariffs, they have jumped from 145% to 245% on China specifically. That's, just to be clear, the last time I covered tariffs wasn't like a year and a half ago, it was like 3 days ago. This is the kind of current landscape that publishers have to plan around. No one knows what's going to happen right now. It is bizarre out there, it is crazy out there, you cannot plan, you can't plan for the tariffs, you can't plan that they'll go away. Anyone saying this is going to bring jobs back to America, that's absolute BS. I'm sorry. We can have a conversation as to whether it's like actually going to be a relative for communication and negotiation. That we can have that conversation. I'm against it, but like, hey, at least it's a conversation. You cannot have the conversation that this is bringing jobs back to America when the tariffs go up, they go down, they go back, and they go forth. Tariffs are on the whole world. Oh, look at that. They're all gone. Now it's just China. Oh, look at that. It's this number. It's this number. It's this number. Anyone who would invest any money into manufacturing would be crazy because the tariffs could be gone tomorrow, and everyone knows that. They also could go up to 345% tomorrow. So it's not fun. It's not fun out there. So this is the darkest timeline. So, anyways, tariffs. Moving on to that, we have more on that. We have Cardboard Edison did a whole thing, the cost of cardboard. I mentioned this in a previous video. I think when I was talking about Final Frontier, I mentioned this poll over here. But Cardboard Edison did a whole kind of conversation with a bunch of publishers, and the short version is your games are going to get smaller, more expensive, and there's going to be fewer of them. Yeah. It just feels surreal. It feels... I don't try to get political. I really, really don't. Like, if you catch me in, like, one of my live Q&As, I'm willing to engage in any conversation, but I don't try to lead the charge on politics, but, like, this tariff thing feels insane, and the politics are a part of that conversation. They really, really are. Not this video. Not this video. This... If you subscribe to the channel, just a full fair warning right now. If you subscribe to the channel, and you're just interested in board games and nothing else, if you don't want my opinion, if you don't want me to talk about other things, this is a good time to unsubscribe. And I don't say that aggressively. I'm saying I get it. You can unsubscribe for one of a few reasons. The first is because you just don't want to deal with this stuff, whether you agree with me or not, and I totally get that. The second is because you just don't want to hear a voice that challenges the way you currently think. And I get that less, but I still respect your choice to do what you want. And I recognize I'm probably talking to a small minority of you right now. Most of you, I believe, I could be wrong, but just from the numbers and likes and all those things, it seems like most of you see the world the way I do. But there's definitely a portion of you that don't. And again, whether you do or don't agree with me, I'm just going to warn you, like, if you like my channel, if you like my content, but you just don't want to deal with this stuff, hit that unsubscribe button, set a 6-month reminder, show back up in 6 months, maybe this will be done. I don't know. Tariffs, politics, these things are not going to be in your average day-to-day video. You want to watch a review of a game? There won't be any conversation around tariffs and politics. There won't. But my weekend reviews, my live shows, any topical pieces, they're going to be part and parcel of the conversation until this goes away. I don't see a way to be, I guess, I don't see a way to be who I am and not talk about an existential threat to our community. I don't see a way to do that. That's not... Like, when I took the job at GameFound, there were always, like, there were people who were, like, very worried, like, you know, what does that mean? Like, you know, your channel's gonna, like, change and this and that. And I've never once just been a mouthpiece. I don't care. I can't. It's not... There have been times where I've chosen not to talk about a subject for one reason or another. And it kills me every single time. But there's always reasons, like when I'm trying to judge whether the value add of it is worth it or not. And I sometimes make the decision that, you know, right now it's a little too hot and let's let things calm down. Maybe I'll still talk about it then. Like, I've made those decisions. But that's always because I'm trying to be mindful of, am I adding good to the world or not? And I've made decisions both directions. There have been videos I've made that I've regretted. There have been videos I haven't made that I've regretted not making. But for the general idea of things, for the vast majority of times, I can't be me and also not talk about something like this. And I have opinions. I have strong opinions around the situation, and so do a lot of you. Some on my side, some not on my side. I'm not fully diving into politics right now. I'm not. I'm going to try to keep this a little on track. This is a complete derailment of my planned segment over here, but I'm not gonna get too derailed right now. But I am gonna caution and warn you that if this isn't something that you're okay having in your feed here and there, now's a good time to unsubscribe for a bit. And again, I don't say that meanly. I just say that, like, I have to be who I am. I have to talk about things that are existential threats to this community. We are living in a timeline where literally the president on TV is like, yeah, we'll deport citizens, because why not? Like, that's got to be insane to you, right? Like, I know there's a lot, I mean, okay, we're getting to politics of it. I mean, like, I know there's going to be some of you who, like, see stuff like that and find reasons. Well, they're criminals, so, like, of course, but, like, is there anything he can do that would actually be wrong? Is there anything he can do that you'd be like, that's a problem? Like, that's the flag. That's the point where we started turning into, like, the wrong place to live. Like, I was reading an article this week about, like, how they're currently estimating, like, $90 billion dip in the economy from just a lack of tourism. Because tourism is right now down. People flying into the U.S. is significantly down. Like, depending on the country, it's down, like, I think Canada's down, like, 70%, something like that, but, like, the general average is down, like, 20% right now. That's a huge amount of money from people who are literally just afraid that they might just have a problem being here because we currently live in a semi-authoritarian regime. I say semi-authoritarian because I gotta give some grace. It's not purely authoritarian. All right. Another day, another time. Just feels a little insane. Back on track. Okay. Anyways, let's back up a little bit. So here we are. So that was the cost of cardboard, Edison, all that. Which brings us to our Creator Spotlight. Our Creator Spotlight this time around is an interesting one, because I don't think I've done one exactly like this before. I've done a lot of content creators, I've done designers, I've done illustrators, I've done board game companies. I don't think I've done specific employees at a board game company, but it felt relevant to do one this week, which this time around is going to be Price Johnson from Cephalofair. Price Johnson, who you may have mentioned, I already mentioned Cephalofair and their $1.2 billion, not billion, I wish it was billion, $1 million of Gloomhaven stuck in China. But we have Cephalofair, Price Johnson specifically, he was apparently, according to this article, Cephalofair's first full-time employee as of 2019. This article is from Isaac Childress, designer of Gloomhaven, talking about, some of his background, what he's done, and then, hey, he has an employee in 2019, 6 years ago at this point, first full-time employee, Price Johnson, who is now their CEO, if I'm not mistaken. It might be CFO. He is let me see, where is this? This is not the team. Where we go? We got CEO, then we got Price Johnson, COO. Price Johnson is the COO of Cephalofair, and he's been running the company to a large extent for a while. The reason he's my Creator Spotlight of the week is because he has been leading a very vocal charge against tariffs, but not just, posting on social media. He's been doing the rounds. He has been going from anywhere from various small news agencies, local news agencies, all the way to interviews over on CNN. Like, he's been diving into it, really getting into, like, the impact that tariffs are having on our industry. It is so easy to post something on social media. It's so easy to comment in support. And these things are good, by the way. They are still good to raise awareness in any way you can. It's helpful to a certain extent what I'm doing. I'm, like, talking about it in the space. But, like, there's a different level to what Price is doing. He is specifically trying to expand that news outside of our bubble into as much of a larger ecosystem, a larger chamber as he possibly can, through doing the hard work, through making sure to reach out and to talk to news agencies, again, local and non-local, to try to get the word out there as far as the impact on the tabletop scene. If there's anything you want to do, there's so many things that you can do as far as emailing or calling your congressman or whatnot to try to add your voice to the mix as far as the impact on the hobby. We did see, at least in terms of China, they got, like, an exemption down to 20%, which is crazy that that's a notable goal right now, but 20% tariff on electronics is, comparatively speaking, phenomenal. And obviously electronics is a significantly bigger industry, and it's going to be a lot harder to get that kind of exemption on our much smaller industry. But if you want to have an impact, the things that Price is doing, the things where you're actually trying to spread the word as much as possible and really make it clear the impact on our industry and the lack of our industry's ability to properly pivot to anything else, which means you're just taxing American consumers. You're just shutting down American businesses. This is just hurting American companies, and Price is doing the legwork, which is why he's my creator spotlight of the week. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move into the rest of the week in review. So, rest of the week in review. Starting off as usual with the videos of this past week. Videos of the past week, we had several. We had our month in review going up, covering the videos of this past month. Well, not just the videos, everything this past month. The games I played, my game stats, videos, best games, worst games, all of that. We had on Monday our 2 back or not to back, going over the current crowdfunding campaigns. Not a ton this week, but still some pretty decent ones. Then I had a Final Frontier conversation around the whole Final Frontier thing that went up on, I want to say Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Wednesday went up. Conversation around Final Frontier and it's shutting down, which is not great. And then that's kind of it, I think, as far as the... No, I had something else going up. What was Friday's video? It's not even Friday yet on my end, but something happened on Friday. Oh, Friday. 17 board game arena games, covering our 17 board game arena reviews, basically. Anyways, that was the general videos of the week, which comes to the games we covered outside of the 17 board game arena reviews, because you can watch that. I'm not going to go through all 17 now. But we had a review for Black Orchestra going up on this past Saturday. Black Orchestra as well as the expansions. I overall enjoy Black Orchestra, but I enjoy it more as a cinematic story and situation. I think if I'm looking at it from the theme and the story, I thought it was a very fun game to play through. But if I'm looking at it purely mechanically, I think there are better games in the co-op regime that I the co-op landscape that I prefer to play. So overall enjoyed it, gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Then we had Escape from Stalingrad. This was a preview, a sponsored preview done by Meg. I have not played Escape from Stalingrad. I have no thoughts on it. We have The Crew Family Adventure from Cosmos. I reviewed that and I did not love it. I liked parts of it. There were specific episodes that were fun, but for the most part, it was way too simplistic for what I'm personally looking for, and yet way too complicated for what I think your average, a gateway gamer or family gamer is looking for. I was very unsure who the target audience is of that. Then we also had a sponsored gameplay of Fairy Tail that Meg and I did, going through one of their scenarios. I enjoyed Fairy Tail with the caveat that it feels very unpolished right now, meaning, and to be fair, I was getting rulebook revisions and adjustments even last minute, but I feel they have a good core, but they're still at the point where they're streamlining things, and some rules need to be a little bit streamlined, and then also I potentially want it to be a bit more challenging. But outside of that, the general arc of it being a kind of choose-your-own-adventure, charming dungeon crawler hybrid, it kind of works, assuming they can dial in the difficulty, as well as just some streamlining along the way. Then we had a sponsored gameplay of Maglev Metro, this time going through London, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I enjoy that. Maglev Metro is a fun game to go through. I like the variety of maps. I definitely preferred London to Paris. Paris felt like almost annoying in terms of the strikes, versus London. London felt like there was a real challenge to try to optimize around how to build out optimally in that map. And then lastly, I had a Street Masters unboxing going through, Street Masters content and all that. That was also went up this past week, and I've already played it since then. I'll be doing, I'm not sure if I'm doing a full review. I'm doing content. I'm going to be doing more opinionated content on Street Masters. I haven't yet decided whether I'm going to be doing a review or something else. But we'll definitely have some content for you on Street Masters outside of just the unboxing. Anyways, those are the games we covered this past week, which brings us to today. Today we will have a review for Beacon Patrol, and then if I'm able to get it done in time, we will also have a review of Dragons of Etchenstone, specifically Dragons of Etchenstone, as well as the expansion content. I only have one of the expansions, not the other one, but if you do want to see the other one, I think it's called Siege. The Chip Theory Games is doing a live stream of it at some point, so you can check out that, but I have the other expansion, so I'll be covering both the base game and the expansion in case you're interested in that. That's going to be today's videos. As far as next week, we will have our top disappointments. Yes, this is the third week in a row I'm telling you that, because videos get rearranged based on anything happening in our current timeline. So top 10 disappointments, or top 10 disappointments in general, will be going up next week, as well as I'm going to have a video called So Many Games Are the Same, or something along those lines, but it's kind of inspired by just getting a lot of repeat games, a lot of dipping into the same pool in a short time frame, and I kind of want to talk about that. And so I did a video a few months ago, and it's going to be going up this week, assuming things don't get pushed off. And that is everything. As far as the games on the table, these as usual are the games I hope to be diving into this week. We have Flamecraft Duels, which I love. Well, love might be strong. I really like Flamecraft Duels. I've already played it. I will be playing it some more and giving you some thoughts on it before the campaign goes up. We have Night Soil, which, yes, as you imagined, is a game but shoveling poop. That's what Night Soil is. So, yeah, I'm going to be hopefully playing this soon. I already read the rules, prepped to go. We have Sentinels Multiverse, which I will be diving into very shortly because I already know and like this game and want to play it. And then we have Leviathan Wilds, which I'm hoping to play this week because I have still not played it since actually covering the prototype, and I think I'm overdue to actually dive into it and see how much of a challenge of an experience it can be. Anyways, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I apologize. Again, some of you are going to be like, you don't need to apologize at all. And some of you might not love it, but like I do apologize for the shift into like a little semi-political stuff this week. But again, I think that will happen. It's hard not to have that intersperse the content unless I just kind of mentally shut it out from reality, which is just not what I want to do. So apologies to those who didn't want it. You're welcome to those who did, and it might just keep happening because that's just the world we currently live in. Anyways, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you have an excellent weekend, and as always, I hope you have a good one.